everyone, and welcome to the OHIO podcast. And we are here tonight, myself and Eric. Eric, how are things going?
Things are going good, Chris. It's was beautiful a couple days ago, and then winter decided to show back up. So here we are.
Yeah, but you know what? That's okay because winter makes me think of football. And speaking of football, we got to touch on one of my favorite topics right now, which is Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Is he a Buckeye? Isn't he a Buckeye? Well, I'll tell you what. After practice today, he met with the media and he pretty much put to rest any rumors that he was no longer or was considering not being a Buckeye.
Right.
He came out and said, for all intents and purposes, when asked about it, he said simply, I didn't feel the need to say anything. I'm here. I'm on the practice field.
Yeah.
I'm here longer than anyone on the practice field.
Yeah, I've got that audio clip, and I got both.
Let's play that audio clip, Eric, and then let's respond to it.
Which one do you want? That one you were mentioning about?
Let's hit that one first.
Okay, let's do that one first then. Here you go.
At the end of the day, no, I didn't feel like I needed to say anything because at the end of the day, I was still here at practice. I was still here with my teammates. So, I feel my actions speak for themselves. I don't need to say anything about that. Caden, I talked to him when he did it, and I congratulated him on his decision. If that's what he feels is best, that's what he feels is best, and I support him.
So that was in response to the question about, the rumors of he was going to go back to Alabama because his former teammate, Caden Proctor, who left Alabama and went to Iowa, had some misfortunate NIL dealings, apparently, and decided to go back to Tuscaloosa. And that sparked all the rumors that Caleb Downs was coming back as well.
I find it just unfathomable that Caleb Downs isn't going back just because his friend is, Eric, I mean, come on. That you talked about it on Saturday. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's Alabama trolling Alabama right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to convince themselves that they are something better, even without the great Nick Saban.
Exactly.
Exactly. And the fact is they aren't.
Right.
Caleb Downs is a Buckeye. He is going to be a Buckeye. I don't think there's any doubt about that at this point. So SEC trolls, whether you're from Alabama, whether you're from Ole Miss, saying Quinshawn's coming back, the fact is Mama Junkins put that one to rest. Caleb came out and put this one to rest himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think Caleb kind of came out and said a little bit of the difference is I believe you have that video or audio clip.
Honestly, yes. Feels like this is the place to be. Glad to be here. My family's been up here, so feeling good. Oh, I love the city. I love High Street. I love being in the city. Love going to the restaurants here. The food's great here, so ain't got no complaints from me. It's different than Alabama because Alabama was a college town, and Tuscaloosa was not as big of a city. Here, there's a lot of people to see, a lot of different businesses that you can be a part of, so just trying to learn the city.
That sounds like a young man who loves this town, Eric.
Did you catch the very end of that? All the opportunities.
All the opportunities.
Here.
He's a smart young businessman.
Here's the thing that maybe I didn't stress it well enough in my video last Saturday when I talked about Bama trolling Bama. The level playing field that NIL offers the teams in the North, there's a significant advantage to teams in the South, Chris. That's the weather. The weather's nicer. They get to play football outside year-round. Okay? And so because of that, the development's a little bit different. And a lot of the kids in the South might be slightly more developed, especially at the quarterback and the wide receiver, running back positions, the defensive back positions, et cetera. 7-on-7 makes wide receivers, quarterbacks, and defensive backs and cornerbacks better.
Mm-hmm.
The level playing ground, though, the level playing field here in the North that the South can't match is the financials. The city of Columbus offers more financial opportunity than Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Caleb Downs admittedly stated so. And that is what is going to bring these northern schools a little bit of level playing field with the South. Okay. Does that mean the South can't offer NIL deals? No, not at all. They're going to. They have been for decades, Chris, illegally.
Yeah, just in McDonald's bags. That's all.
So now that that's above board, the North is playing with a lot more, shall we call it, house money than what a lot of these college cities are in the South. And that, I think, was very telling in that comment when Caleb Downs talked about the city and the opportunities that the city gives a man like himself, along with all the other perks that you come to Ohio State for: the development, the history, the prestige, the ability to get seen and be drafted. That, a lot of those are the same in the South. But the NIL deal is for real. That is a real thing. And that is what I wanted to highlight, that audio clip there, Chris.
Yeah, it is. It's huge. You look at Columbus versus Alabama, or Ohio State versus Alabama, and I'm sure that Alabama has some wealthy benefactors.
Mm-hmm.
Every school does. But I'm sure that Ohio State has more. You look at this, we've got the Wexners. If you think for a minute that they aren't ready to write a check, if that's what's going to stop this team from winning a national title.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of back when NIL first began a few years ago. What we have, about 15 kids in a Reichert commercial. We had half the team in one of those commercials for one of the car dealerships. I think it was Reichert, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Do you know how many Fortune 500 companies there are in Columbus alone?
I'm going to be honest, I do not, Eric.
Yeah, I think there's 6, and there's 16 in the Fortune 1000.
Yeah.
I don't know how many are in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Let me look that up. My guess is maybe 1 or 2.
And that's just Columbus, Eric. If you look at Ohio as a whole,
2. I was right. 2 in the whole state of Alabama. My bad.
Yeah.
2.
And Columbus, Ohio has 6.
Yeah.
And the state of Ohio as a whole.
Let's see how many. 25 in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. 25 to 2. So
you can't compete with that.
No, not when it comes to just the NIL opportunities.
And to some extent, I think Nick Saban could compete with that with his legacy, but he's not there anymore. He's not there to sell his legacy.
Alabama will argue that he's still there.
Maintaining an office on campus is not the same as being there.
Right.
It's just not.
This is the thing, Chris. Like, this isn't me. I'm not tooting this horn because you and I both know I'm a traditionalist, dude. Like, if I could take NIL away from everything, I would, because I still believe that a scholarship is worth a lot of money. Okay?
I got the student loans to prove it.
Exactly. And me as well. So I don't look at, but I understand the argument because of all the revenue the school's getting from their benefit. I get it. I understand that. But I'm a traditionalist at heart. So this isn't me tooting that horn. I'm just stating facts, just spitting facts. 25 Fortune 500 companies in the state of Ohio, 6 within Columbus alone. I didn't even look what's up, in the outer belt outside of Columbus, how many there are.
Right.
But you take those numbers, you compare them to Alabama, and that's why Caleb Downs said what he said. There's just more opportunities here in the city.
And I will give credit to this. Caleb Downs may be one of the most honest players we've ever experienced. In the fact that he came out and he didn't hide the fact, like you said, he was subtle about it, but he didn't hide the fact that NIL is one of the big reasons he's here. He didn't hide his feelings about the transfer portal.
Right.
He came out and said it, and take it for what it's worth. I don't think it was a shot at Bill O'Brien, but in a sense, it kind of was a shot at Bill O'Brien.
Because he actually used
you can come here and coach for 1 month, and then just leave these kids high and dry.
He said here, like yes. Columbus, Ohio State, here. Yeah, exactly. But
he said, why can't the kids have the same opportunity? And Eric, he's not wrong. Mm-mm. I don't like it, but he's not wrong. How can we sit here and preach about the kids not following through with their commitments when the coaches do this?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. But I believe that's one of the reasons why I do believe that when he says he is here and he's a Buckeye, that he is. Because I feel like he is coming from an honest position. So
I agree with you.
Well, only time will tell, though. That's the thing. We do still have to get through the spring transfer portal.
Do you put what percentage do you put on him actually leaving after spring?
Leaving? 10%, if that.
So you're low, but you're not zero.
I'm not going to close the door because anything can happen. And this is one of the problems with NIL, is because if somebody sweeps in with a higher dollar offer, he could be off again. Which
is what one of the Alabama personality YouTubers said, that Alabama offered him NIL and Ohio State matched it immediately. And that was his theory, in which I replied on Saturday, well, then that's tampering.
Yeah.
So, because you're not supposed to talk to a guy until he's in the portal. But, here's the thing is these kids have agents now, and it's not tampering to speak to an agent. So, it's business. It's negotiation. It's business. It's what a lot of us do for a living. And so, there are times that my business that I work for has been outbid or underbid or undercut on a job, things of that nature. And so it happens. And so you just have to be able to move on. That's why I think it's so important that these coaching staffs and these programs have plan Bs in place and are ready. But as far as Caleb Downs is concerned, as a young man with skills that are obviously some of the best in the country at what he does, he looks at what he is able to obtain from that, and you can't fault the young man. So, if Alabama truly feels that his skills are worth throwing the bank at, and Ohio State matches that, sorry, man, that's business.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we've come to, Eric. Football is no longer simply a sport. You talked about being a purist, and those days are gone. We don't have amateur athletics anymore. It's done.
The good news is, though, is when the whistle blows and they kick off on Saturdays, all of that outside the lines goes out the door, and it's still about football.
It's all about talent and desire, and that's the great thing.
X's and O's.
X's and O's. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us for this video. If you like what you hear, make sure to hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe. Hey, make sure you become a member. It's only $3.99 a month. You're going to get special behind-the-scenes commentary from myself, Eric, JR, Aaron. So make sure you subscribe for that $3.99, and make sure you don't miss us Sunday night. 8 p.m. is our live show every Sunday night. And we have our live call-in shows, of course, on Thursdays. So until next time, OH,
IO.
go Bucks.